Actually, first of all, let's write our main function. Remember, main function, you guys have to learn this by heart. Okay, public static void main, public static void main. If you say that for a few times, it's going to be pretty much stuck in your head, and you're never going to forget about it. Public static void main, and string, uppercase, square bracket, and followed by some name. Usually, I do argv. Some people do args. This doesn't really matter. If you want to have fun, you can say whatever. Not semicolon, because semicolon is a special character that indicates the end of a sentence, right? So you can come up with some name, but not anything that is illegal. You just use your intuition. I think you guys can make a very good guess of what is acceptable and what's not. For example, you can't say, I want to have a bracket in there as part of my name, right? That's certainly not going to work. Okay. So just there's just a name, variable name. So I'm going to go back to argv. First problem, we're going to do Alexa, but not to come up with the time part. Okay, we're going to just do the greeting part. And recall that this is what we want to do, right? That allow user to enter the hour of the current name. This is to review how do you take input from the user, and then based on the input, you're gonna print out one of these 4 different kind of greetings. Okay, so let's go ahead to take input. How do you take input? Recall that you want to use scanner to take input, right? Scanner is the class that allow you to do the input taking from user. So usually I call that SC, again, variable. You can call that anything. And you go new scanner and parentheses. Later on, we're going to dissect, not today. Later on during this some later lesson, we're going to dissect every single part of a sentence, and then things it's gonna make more sense to you guys. But for now, for a lot of things, you just have to kind of just take it as is, because we can't just talk about everything in one shot, which could be very distracting. Okay, and then in order to use this class, you have to import it. So you say java.util.scanner. You import it, meaning that, okay, please give me that class, load that class into the memory so that I can use it. Now I'm going to create a scanner. I give it a name. I say equals new scanner. This basically means I'm going to create a new scanner which takes user input from the system's standard input, which is the console. Okay. Now you get yourself a scanner. You can use it. And we are gonna expect a number, so you're gonna use a variable of the data type integer to take it, right? So I'm gonna say hour, what hour it is, and you want to use the scanner, say next integer to take integer. Oh, by the way, every time before you take input, I highly recommend that you always remember to write a prompt. Otherwise, you may forget what your program is doing at that point of time, and your program basically just stop there, and people may be clueless. Okay, what's wrong with my program? Well, nothing's wrong. It's just like it's waiting for input there, but then you don't have a prompt, so the user can be confused, and yourself may be also confused. So always just try to write something. Please enter. Well, can write it. What time is it? Okay, and enter an integer between 0 and 23. How about that? See, that will be a very nice sentence, and user knows exactly what's going on, right? Okay, enter an integer between 0, inclusive, of course. I think that's pretty much assumed. Okay. Now we have an hour. Now the user is gonna be able to enter input, which is an integer, and you have this hour with a particular value now, whatever the user entered. Then you're gonna go ahead to let's go ahead to write our conditional flow, and we're gonna say if the hour, we're gonna just do this one at a time, right? If the hour is in this range, greater than 6 and less equal to 12, say good morning. All right, let's go ahead to do that. If the hour is greater than 6, so you say greater than 6, and also less than 12, less equal than 12. So you have to say and less equals to 12. Okay, you have to say it this way, not like this. Some people just directly put this into the condition as a condition inside the parentheses. It's not going to work. Why? Because the Java compiler is not human, so it expects a certain specific grammar. You have to talk this way. This is the language. This is how the language works. You know, Spanish, for Spanish, you say in something in some certain way. For French, you say something in some certain way. For Java, you have to say this in this way. Okay. That would be the good night possibility, right? Have a good sleep. Have a good sleep. Right? Does it make sense? Yeah. Of course, you can do this in a lot of different ways. You can do that in different sequences, and you can actually spell out this good, have a good sleep, the two different periods, right? But this is just one of the ways that you can do that. Okay, so that's problem number 1. Let's do problem number 2. Oh, actually, let's go ahead to test it. No matter how good you think you are, how confident you think you are, you always want to test this out. Okay, so you never know. Nobody is making a mistake intentionally, right? So always test your code. Run this, and look at it. There's a prompt. Imagine that if you don't have this prompt, then you just have this like program saying here. It can be very confusing to beginners. So always have a prompt, and I'm gonna probably test the error case. 888. Sorry, that's not a valid time. Oops. Yeah, program just ends. Later on, when we learn loop, we're gonna be able to keep doing this. But for now, we just do the program only is able to do one check at a time. All right, so let's do 22, which should be the have good night sleep because it's 10 o'clock. Oops. 22, good evening. Lesson. Oh, yeah, okay. I guess we go to sleep pretty late. Yeah, okay. 23. Yeah. Should say have a. Oh, no, 22. Oh, 22 is still good evening. And over 22, that have a good sleep. Okay, because we enter 22, that's kind of on the borderline. 22. Yeah, we say, wait, greater than 17. Greater than 17. Oh yeah, here we should do input less than 22. But anyway, that doesn't change this particular test case. 22 is still gonna say good evening. 22, good evening. Okay, but then at 11 o'clock, 23, you should say have a good sleep. How about 2 o'clock in the morning? Have a good sleep. Okay, so that's work out pretty well. Make sure you test all the cases. Good afternoon. So I'm gonna say, how about 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Good afternoon. Okay, that's pretty nice. Okay, so that's the first problem, Alexa. Let's do the second problem. We're gonna I'll write the second problem at the top so that we're not gonna run the Alexa again when we do the second problem. Okay, second problem, which is the temperature temperature conversion, right? So for this one, we want to take input from user, which is the Fahrenheit temperature, and you want to convert it into a Celsius temperature and print it. Okay, so let's go ahead to do the same drill. You're gonna print out a prompt. Here we just say enter an integer. We're just gonna do integer. Okay, even though it works the same with a floating number, but let's just do integer. Enter integer in Fahrenheit Okay. Enter the integer temperature in Fahrenheit. There you go. Okay, then we're gonna go ahead to take the input, right? Remember, you have to have a scanner. This scanner is created down here. You can't use it, right? Can you say integer Fahrenheit is next integer like that? No, you can't, because SC is not declared yet, because the program is being executed in the order that you write it. So SC is not born yet, right? So if you want to use the same scanner, you just go ahead to declare the SC first, so that SC is available to be used in both problems. Okay, all right. So we take a Fahrenheit, and you're gonna convert it into the Celsius. Oh, actually, the Celsius could be a double, right? Okay, so the Celsius, the conversion format goes like this. Fahrenheit minus 32 times 5 divided by 9. Okay, I'm gonna just write it over here. Okay, that will be 32. No, just Fahrenheit. Okay, it will be C is that. Okay, so let's go ahead to do that. And since you're gonna time 5 and divide by 9, so you could get a floating number. So let's use the double to take this variable, the result of your calculation. And notice that while I'm typing, like there's something that turning into red underline, right? Don't panic at this point of time. The only reason is because you're typing, right? So you're in the middle of a statement, you're not done yet. So don't worry about it. Just keep typing, keep writing complete your sentence, and the error should go away. Okay, double C is, let's follow the formula F, right, minus 32, is exactly do the math, right? Exactly do the math. By 5 times, times 5 divided by 9, and which is going to be if you actually want a double number, make sure that you cast one of them to double, right? So just cast one of them to double, you're going to get a double number. And that's it. Let's go ahead to print it, and we can test it out. Okay, and I said that you should print out. Oh, I lost the slide. Oh, here. Okay, I said you should print out something nicely. Okay, let's just print this guy. Print this conversion. Try to say 30, whatever F, right? So that will be F, the value. Add, this is just a special character, and you guys can copy that over, right? And will be this Celsius. Celsius, like that. Ooh, I didn't. Okay, like that. Okay. Okay, so we should test it. Run. Okay, enter integer temperature in Fahrenheit. Okay, so I'm gonna say, how about we have 32 and 0? Yeah, because we do the double, so it will be 0, 0. That's fine. What time is it? Is the second problem. Okay, let's rerun. Try a field set 67, and it's 19 degrees. Okay, awesome. Okay, let's say today is whatever. Actually, today is probably 7 degrees. Let's say 90 degrees. That will be about 32 Celsius. Okay. Yeah. So if I know that this doesn't look very beautiful because all the decimal point, but that's fine. That's not the point of our practice. Later on, if you guys are interested, we can do some formatting, but that's fine. I'm gonna say, how about 100 degrees? That'll be 37. That'll be the humans a little bit fever, right? 100 degrees. Okay, cool. So that's the homework.